What the heck? The heck brought you across the big meadow?
Hello, Peter.
It does my heart good to see you.
You too. I got a post from Sister Cathy.
What she?
Heard the children are having
Yeah.
croup.
Yeah, they're a bit down. She's left me for a spell.
Oh, that's awful. I came to help you with the winter chores.
Really? Well, welcome. I got
you.
chores. Come on
Okay.
in.
Thank you.
We'll put the water on to boil. Spot of tea. Tea should be ready in a few minutes. So, how are things on your homestead?
Oh, very good, very good. We have everything in for the winter. Dave's busy getting the last of the wood in, and he encouraged me to come here and help out.
Awesome, because we're way behind.
Yeah, the
We have a lot of
grandchildren are
things.
very sick, aren't they?
4 of them are. They're down with it, but yeah. Cathy went to lend a hand, and now you're here to lend a hand. So, yeah. Anyway, would you like a cup of tea?
Oh, a cup of tea would be lovely. Thanks. Oh, I see Cathy's been knitting.
Yes, sir. She built that sweater for me. That's for my winter trekking for hunting.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Isn't it grand? And she's working on a scarf there too.
Huh. I wonder if she'd mind if I put a few stitches in for her.
I'm sure she'd love it. I'm sure she'd love it. You start that, I'll start the tea.
Okay, over. Well, that tea was really warmed me up. It was delicious.
Hit the spot, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I'm ready to get to work.
You are? I've got a long list.
Okay.
And
What's
probably
next?
knitting isn't the biggest priority, but so let's see, what do we got to do? We got to fill woodsheds. I've got the one filled here, but we have to get the big one filled.
Okay.
Got to get the potatoes into the root cellar, and the carrots and the beets. We got to parch corn.
I could start the corn right now.
Really?
Yeah.
You want to do that for me?
Sure.
Okay, I'll go fetch corn.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Perfect. Okay, this woodshed is full, and we still have to fill the big one. So this one holds about 2.5 bush cord, and in an open fireplace, which is really inefficient. Our ancestors needed, for the small cabin that we live in, approximately 9 bush cord. So I got a lot of wood to put in the bigger woodshed. But things that they had to do to prepare for winter, it was a long list. So every season had its challenges, but the biggest challenge was fall. People think winter because of the temperatures, but that was the time for rest. That's the time when they read, did crafts, fixed and repaired things, told stories, and stayed pretty close to the hearth. But the preparation leading up to those cold temperatures was huge. Firewood, and you think, well, the priority would be firewood, but it was everything. It was the hunting season, which is coming up. In a week, we're off moose hunting, then deer hunting. It was getting the root crops in the root cellar. We parched a lot of corn. It was a very staple food. In the time period, it was sort of the high energy fast food of the 1700s. So we've got corn to parch. We've got candles to make, and the poor people didn't have beeswax candles. That was for the aristocrats. So we were going to make ours out of tallow. Bob Miller gifted me some ones made from pure deer tallow. Haven't burned them yet. I don't suspect they smell quite as good as beeswax, but looking forward to see how they give us light. What else do we have to do? There's clothes to make. Cathy's been knitting me a sweater and a scarf for my winter treks to keep me warm. Just the list is immense. Before we can actually settle into a long, cold winter, these are the tasks we have to get done. And yeah, I'm going to see how Victoria's making out, and I'm going to start parching some corn. We must be getting down to the end of this, aren't we?
Oh, we're almost finished.
Perfect. The last of it, you say? So we got a couple hours of daylight left. Are you ready for some more work?
Oh, sure.
Get more things ticked off the list? Okay, I have the food cache cleaned out, so if we have any luck moose hunting next week in Quebec, we'll be hanging some quarters of meat up there.
Nice harvest, Peter.
Not too bad, given it was neglected all summer.
My sister sure does love her grandchildren.
Yeah, and she's probably going to bring that darn pestilent disease home.
Oh, I sure hope not. God bless her soul.
Last wheelbarrow full. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
One more thing done for winter. I'm just taking a peek at the sauerkraut that Cathy and I did about a week ago. So we did a dozen head of cabbage and got about 10 gallons of sauerkraut, and it's the wonder food, and it sustains us through a big part of the winter. So it's going to sit there and brew for about 9 weeks, and then it'll be ready to eat. So one more thing done. I'm going to dry some of these apples, and we're pretty much set for winter. There are a number of ways to preserve food. What we're doing here with our apples is we're going to be dehydrating them or drying them by the fire. So basically cutting them like this. They'll hang by the fire for about 3 days. We leave the skin on. Then we simply store them in dry, clean crocks for the winter consumption. We have a good root cellar, but we've got our apples in there, and we can't store or we have our potatoes, carrots, beets, what have you, in the root cellar, so we can't store apples with them. The apples give off a gas that will rot both the apple and the potato. So this is a means for us to, at least in the short term, until our apple trees really start to produce, to store our apples for the winter. We had an amazing singer-songwriter contact us. Her name is Pamela Wyn Shannon. And she wrote an album basically on autumn songs coming into winter, and she's since moved to Wales. And we'll put a link to her album below. But her guitar playing style and her voice, it just struck a chord with me. And the song that we're going to play as we play out for this episode is called Vespertine Autumn. And if you listen to the lyrics, it's really appropriate for basically what our ancestors were doing, preparing for winter as we've done. And we're pretty happy now. Our wood's in, most of our food is in the root cellar, the hunt's about to begin, and pretty soon we can settle in here at a fire, some wee bits of history, some storytelling, and yeah, really enjoy the winter. It's a time to sort of regenerate and recover.
Where is the green-eyed whimsical one? Is she in the garden dancing? No, for she is wrapping us round with her cloak of russet brown, as the vespertine autumn is calling. For she is wrapping us round with her cloak of russet brown, as the vespertine autumn is calling. Without compass, nor cane, nor lantern light, she leads us in the changing. fire's embers fading glow, making you fearful of the dying. Yes, but she is wrapping us round with her cloak of russet brown, as the vespertine autumn is calling. For she is wrapping us round with her cloak of russet brown, as the vespertine autumn is calling. Without compass nor cane nor lantern light, she leads us in the changing. Silent and more mindful you will go, past the roots neath the frost on the earth. For she is wrapping us round with her cloak of russet brown, as the vespertine autumn is calling. For she is wrapping us round with her cloak of russet brown, as the vespertine autumn is calling. For she is wrapping us round. Without compass nor cane nor lantern light, she leads us in the changing. She leads us in the changing. She leads us in the changing. She leads